Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 76. All things in balance. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host, and getting slightly hoarse, as I so often do, Dungeon Master Michael Corley. And with me tonight is Izzy. Izzy, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Today I will be playing Murzi Mugraw, a half-orc barbarian with a really cool pet lizard.
A really cool pet lizard who came in to give you lizard sight. And also with us today is Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Greetings, everyone. I am playing Tix Birchmanson, who will be taller than you when you're dead.
It is true. You are always taller than your opponents once their hit points have reached 0. And finally, but definitely not least, is Lee. Lee, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Okay, everybody, I'm Lee, and I'm playing Usukai, the Shifter Ranger, with the awesome Pet Cleric.
Really?
I had no
We're going to go there?
I had no idea that your pet pig was a cleric. Your pig was sleeping in Audrey 3, so he didn't wake up for the whole thing. That's why he wasn't in the last one.
I was just rolling with Izzy's thing there. It's fine.
When we last left our characters, they had encountered a chulithid, a chul, a horrifying crustacean creature from down below, who was serving an illithid master known as Tredazis, the actual illithid who much earlier in the campaigns had tried to take the staff of Sharafin from you and had failed to do so. You defeated him along with his servant Raro, taking from him a pouch, a bag of holding, and also winning the day and destroying some horrifying little mini illithids who were meant for your skulls.
Yeah, my skulls!
You made your way to the secret city, or I should say secret village of Palm Grove, which is surrounds the Temple of Animus, where it is rumored that a great monk lives there. And in fact, who was inside Audrey 3 and missed out on all the fun, Tigrin, the half-orc who is traveling with you right now, had actually been trying to find this place. He had heard that sometimes this monk will take on apprentices and students. But you have just had it revealed to you by the shaman Mobari, who has cast a spell to show the hidden city of Palm Grove. And that is when you hear from inside Audrey 3, Penton scream.
Oh no.
I'm going to say all of you are outside to watch this parting of the mists.
That sounds like a beautiful party, but let's go inside to Audrey 3, I think.
So you head inside or duck inside, and you see Penton is writhing in pain. By the way, Tix, you had healed him. However, his right hand is now claw-like, like a dragon's. The right side of his face has become more dragonish and brutish. And there are 2 wounds going down the back of his body, and they will not heal.
Like a dragon stroke.
Kind of like, and his right eye, where his face has changed, is glowing slightly. All the time, not just when he uses magic like normal. And he seems to be in very bad shape.
I pass Penton a Snickers and tell him he's not himself when he's angry.
And he immediately gets better. Yes.
Tix runs over and first uses his healing skill to check him over. Both Arcana and Nature.
I would like you to roll both of those, please.
Okay. The Arcana is a straight 12. And the Nature is a 18.
Okay. So 2 things. One, you are able to tell that there is nothing physically wrong with him from a normal ailment way. So you therefore suspect that this is entirely magic in nature. However, because of the 18 that you rolled, you also know you think that he might be dying.
Yay! This is a new level of death. Not even.
No sharks, no water.
Like it's not that he dies not on the main quest. It's that he dies when his player isn't here.
Yep, he's going to come back to find him dead. But you know, obviously you're an intelligent creature. You know that it's something to do with these transformations that has happened to his body, but you do not understand what it is or why it is happening. But you suspect that it is killing him.
All right. Well, then I will first use my last third level spell for the day and cast Dispel Magic on him.
Okay.
You should have got all your spells back because we all had a long rest.
Yes,
at this
we
point.
did have a
did
long
we?
rest, so you
Oh,
were
that's
all
true.
recovered
That's
and you
right.
were all completely healed.
Okay, so well, then I still cast Dispel Magic.
Okay. You actually see energy kind of roil around him, and for just a moment, you catch sort of the outline. Do you remember? Probably don't remember. It's not important. When Osakai was falling to his death.
Yes. How could we
And
forget that?
there was
wonderful
actually an air elemental that took the form of a dragon with glowing blue eyes. Well, when it was done, it actually came to Penton and then shot an essence right into Penton's everything, like his eyes and nose and mouth. And
But
probably. And it was shortly after that that some of these changes started to happen. When you cast that Dispel Magic, you see him kind of writhe, and you see sort of the crackling energy form of that dragon, much smaller, surrounding him for a moment, and then it fades away. But he is still in really bad shape.
Didn't think wind elementals were into that kind of thing, but okay.
Well, by the way, once it did that, the wind elemental then took on the shape of a classic wind elemental, a sort of tornado, and it looked sort of confused and then whoop, disappeared.
And
Huh.
so
I guess just the dragon part went into him.
As far as you can tell. By the way, before this wind elemental was summoned, he actually prayed to I can't ever say it.
Bahamut?
Bahamut.
Bahamut to help, and that was actually when the wind elemental appeared in the shape of a dragon.
Last time Osukai made contact with a deity didn't go very well. I feel like since Penton is out of it, I'm going to suggest to Tix, even though his patron deity is totally different, he has a better connection with the gods than my godless self does. Perhaps either through Gal himself or with direct contact, if the gods are so willing, sometimes they are, to find out why Bahamut is letting this happen, or if he's even involved, since this is very much dragon-like. There's something related to both Penton's spell scaleness and his connection with Bahamut that, I mean, he's been good to Bahamut. He's been following and doing everything that Bahamut has asked. What's happening? Why is this going on?
Bahamut,
something
why
we
did my
can
mom
do.
get No, I'm not going to make that joke. God, that's the worst thing I've ever said, but
Bahamut, why do bad things happen to good people?
if Bahamut was real, then bad things wouldn't happen to good people.
But that's just my suggestion. It's Tix's call. I can't make contact with any of them. The last time I did that, it didn't turn out so well, so I'm a little bit hesitant.
in this case, Tix smiles at Osakai knowingly and then sits down in a prayerful position next to Penton and begins a prayerful chant to Garl Glittergold, requesting for intervention and explanation.
Okay. I would like you to make a divinity roll.
15 plus, would that count as knowledge nature? Or knowledge religion, I mean?
Knowledge religion, yes.
Okay, knowledge religion. So that would be a 28.
28. Okay, so
Sheesh.
yeah, you
This is
you
my
done-
wheelhouse. This isn't a
This is
dexterity
your wheelhouse,
save
yeah.
or a reflex save. This is his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
This is what you do.
This is
That's
Uh,
impressive. Even Osakai
so-
is going to be, woof. All right.
There's a moment where you all see him settle down into this prayerful position. He stills himself, and then his eyes, boom, open. They're not glowing, but they appear to y'all to have the aspect of two gems. And in that moment, Tix, you see yourself in that cavern that you saw yourself in when you were younger, when you saw yourself in the cavern of Garl Glittergold. Not his throne room by any means, but sort of his viewing chamber. That all of the areas of the chamber were fitted with different kinds of jewels, and you sensed that Garl Glittergold could see through each and every one into different areas and perhaps even planes of reality. And you see Garl just for a moment, and he points a finger at a black onyx gem. And your mind flies to that gem. For just a moment, you go into another plane of reality. And you are assaulted by a stench. And you actually recognize Penton describing this when he stuck his head through that portal.
The stank plane!
The stank plane, yes. And you're flying over this plane that's just, countless hundreds and thousands of miles across. And there is a body in this plane that is rotting. It is a body that is so big that its hand is crushing a mountain. And this body is rotting. And you are, just for a glimpse, you don't get a chance to see its face, but you can see that it's a humanoid form. And it's dressed sort of vaguely, I don't know, maybe you would say Egyptian clothing would be the image that you have just for that half second. And then, boom, you're past that reality into another plane. And in that plane, you see a combat happening. And perhaps you even had Penton describe this to you. Penton has seen visions of Bahamut. Did I say it right? Bahamut. Oh my gosh, why do I know that? Bahamut in a locked-in combat with a skeletal dragon. And you see this combat, and you were flying closer and closer and closer to it. And for just a moment, the platinum dragon with 4 wings turns its attention just slightly towards you, Tix. And you're just overwhelmed with the gaze of a god that isn't yours. And he shoots just a little bit of knowledge towards you, and it is just, you were just slammed backwards like a giant fist just slapped you back into your body. And what you see in that moment is you see a bag of holding, but the bag has been filled beyond capacity. And it's filled and filled and filled. And then a single needle comes and goes boing, and it explodes. Except in that moment, you see the exploding bag is Penton. And what you realize is that it's not that he has been cursed. It's that he's been given too much power. And his body cannot contain it. And that is exactly. In fact, additional experience points for putting it so perfectly. He is literally not ready for it. It's like giving him a 10th level spell at first level. His body cannot handle it, and it is killing him.
Okay. I will cast Cure Wounds on him to mitigate what is happening right now, and then send Morezi to go fetch the shaman to see if we can figure out how to depower him a little bit.
I
Okay.
do that.
Okay. Mubari comes back very quickly. They were starting to make their way into their village. This was the whole point. They wanted to get to their village, and the rest of the villagers are streaming into the village to be reunited with their loved ones. Not everyone was transformed, because not everybody was outside when it happened, though a large portion of the villagers were. He comes back in at Morezi's request, and he takes one look at Penton, and he's like, "This is very, very bad. I do not know what to do. It is possible that Reja may be able to help. She is the monk who rules over the Temple of Animus."
Then I believe we need to get Audrey 3 to go to the temple.
Okay. Unfortunately, Audrey does not seem particularly interested in moving, because Penton actually controls Audrey. Now, one of you can try to take hold of the skull in Audrey. However, you do know that there have been occasions where the skull has drained the life out of people who have grabbed hold of it.
Let's go give it a shot.
Okay. Give me a straight roll, and I will let you add any arcana that you have. If you do not have any arcana, I will let you add your charisma.
Tix rolls his eyes when Osugai gets
It really doesn't matter. I have zero charisma,
Mm-hmm.
both in game and in real life. And I have no knowledge arcana of any. I can cast spells, but they're based entirely on wisdom. Alright. Does a 20 work?
20 will work. You grasp hold of the sides, and unfortunately, Audrey 3 is hungry. So you start to feel these two prongs start to push into the palms of your hand. What would you communicate mentally to Audrey 3 to let it know that you are not a danger and to obey your commands?
Honestly, I'd probably let her feed. She doesn't need that much, based entirely on how much we've given to her over time. It wasn't been much, and she's been running on that. So I'll take a hit point damage if it means she gets to eat and she'll obey and she'll listen.
Gotcha. Well, it's actually it's only 4 points of damage that you take, but she drains you of 2 pints of blood. It's very rapid, and it does not feel good at all. This is not like donating at the blood bank, but you are able to control it and get her to stop, and get her to understand that no, just this right now. You do feel weaker for the moment. You have lost 1 point of strength temporarily, but that will be regained after a night's rest. And you were able to control you, as Penton perhaps has described to you. You now essentially have daredevil sense outside of the of Audrey, that you can actually sense what's around you and control her and make her go forward.
All right. This is slightly overwhelming, but then again, I have also been inside another human being's brain. I'll add the extra bit there. Thanks, Jackson. We should get to see her again. I guess I'll just push forward.
Okay.
And just push W on the keyboard, and away we go.
Boom, 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 boom. Starts walking, and villagers quickly get out of the way. Not that. Again, there's more than enough room. This village is not massive, but it's larger than you thought it might be. There's quite a bit to it for a village, and you make your way to the steps of the Temple of the Animus. It rises up into a small, I wouldn't quite call it a mountain, but a very big hill that winds its way up away from the village. And each side of the steps going up to the temple have statues as you go up. But y'all are now here. Do you, it would be a little tricky for you to walk Audrey up these steps, but you certainly could try if you wish to.
I think I'd carry Penton up the stairs, to be honest. I don't have the skill that Penton would in navigating and using Audrey. I just wanted to get her to the base of the stairs so that any carrying I needed to do was minimal.
Okay. You make your way up. Penton weighs nothing to you, even with your reduced strength. And I want all of you to make your way up. As you walk up, just imagine, just a beautiful Japanese temple at the top, with a little bit of medieval, Western medieval flair. And each rows of steps going up, there is a different statue. Each statue is of a humanoid, and each humanoid has some element of them that is slightly not human, in one way or another.
Huh.
And you make your way to the top, and there is a temple. What would y'all like to do?
I bang on the door.
Okay. Boom.
We
boom,
have
boom.
a sick friend!
The door opens, and out walks a female. I don't want to say lizard man, but that's what they're generally called, lizard men. But it is a female lizard folk, and she appears older, but she seems extremely spry and lithe. And she is wearing just a simple loincloth and a belt. With a few pouches on it, very small pouches, and nothing else. And she comes out, and the first thing that she does is she lays eye on all of you, and she goes, "Oh, look at the lizard!" And she just loses it, and she comes forward and just begins doting on Aki.
So you're role-playing me as a D&D character.
Basically, but she is just entranced with Aki, and she coos over Aki. She says, "Oh, who did this to your poor tail? I'll rip their heart out. Yes, I will." She's speaking common, by the way, and this goes on for quite a little while.
I love her. Marezi immediately feels a deep connection with this person, with this lizard person.
Okay. By the way, Mobari said that her name was Reija.
I love her. Marezi gets down on one knee and proposes to Reija. Our kid will be the lizard.
It's a spring wedding. It's lovely. Everyone attends. No.
Except Penton, who's dead.
Yes, he is dead.
Sorry to interrupt this loving. However, our friend is scaly. Perhaps he could use some of your attention as well.
He has been
if you please.
stricken in the service to protecting this realm with too much of a blessing. He has too much power been poured into him. His Lord Bahamut has given me a message that he must have some of that power removed, otherwise it will kill him.
And she pauses and places a long, scaly finger on the temple of Penton, and that there's a scar on his head that was given to him by a dragon, and like a little electrical zaps her slightly, and she pulls back slightly, and she says, "Yes, his chi is very badly out of balance. He must achieve balance. All things must be in balance. Tell me, what would you do for your friend?"
Get a pump out the bad stuff.
She smiles and says and strokes Aki's head one more time, and she turns and she just starts walking. She walks away and starts climbing up this rope ladder leading up to those strange scale-like structures that are far above the temple. Think about sort of like Ewok village-y type thing where it's just way up high, probably close to like 80 feet up in the air. And she gestures for all of you to follow.
Oh,
We
well,
followed.
my climb is fine. I'm going to jump. I'm going to go.
Gotcha. And I actually won't make anyone roll to climb because these are very easy rope ladders to climb.
It's a rope ladder, yeah.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah,
very
I come
bad if
too.
you fell, but there's even carrying Penton, because she does not carry it. It is very easy to climb up. And as you are climbing up, by the way, Penton writhes once again, and you actually feel something slap the side of your leg, Osokai. And
He has a tail now.
He totally has a tail now. And however, you feel that his body is burning up with a fever, and he is now clearly even physically worse.
We need to put him in a bottle.
Oh, he's got lizarditis.
Take the wyvern out and put him in the bottle. I know we don't have that anymore, I don't think, but yeah.
Y'all still have the wyvern. The wyvern in a bottle is still in there. Y'all never sold it or anything, so it's still in there, along with your other effects.
Ooh, perhaps that could come in here.
Maybe. But she takes you all to the top, and what you see is that there is a series of scales, and they sort of overlap each other. And as she walks onto one, as you can imagine, it starts to go down. And then she lightly leaps onto the next one, and it starts to go back up. And she very casually leaps from one to the other and keeps them in balance. Now, there are a series of platforms that you are on that are not scales. But you would say there's probably about 15 of these scales just sort of all around. They are slightly different heights, and a couple of them even crisscross each other. And she says that your friend's chi is completely out of balance, and this disbalance is killing him. You must help to balance his chi. You must create a siphon to safely remove enough so that his body can survive. And the only
cheese siphon, yes.
Yes. There are many ways to remove chi, but one of the most effective is the raw release of combat. And with that, she leaps forward and picks up Penton, and she leaps again and places him on one of the scales. And then she leaps to the other side of the scale, and it balances mostly, but it's slowly going down on her side because she's heavier than Penton. And she says to all of you, I need you all to defeat me in battle. And you must do so without letting your friend fall. Now. And she assumes a martial arts stance, and she says, come at me! And her face changes in an instant. She becomes a creature of rage and violence, and you see her ancestry of the lizard men who would raid villages and sack and pillage and eat humans for dinner. And I need all of you to roll for initiative.
Okay, this is a level 10 monk. We are screwed.
Oh, well, she
Pretty
could be
much.
level 20. You don't know.
Oh, come on, don't do that to us, Michael. Diamond Body, are you serious?
Just kidding, just kidding.
15.
15 for Merezi. And Tix?
22. Sorry,
That
Oh, it's
is
good. 12 for Tix.
22 for Isekai.
So, Osokai, you actually go first. Whether she's just taking a defensive stance and letting you attack first, you don't know. But you actually can attack first. What would you like to do?
I'm going to shift and roar for an intimidate.
Okay. You shift as a free action, and I want you to roll that intimidation.
That's a 28.
28. So she has made a feral stance and a feral face, and you shift and just... And something in your scream actually gives her pause, and this is an extremely, as you said, high-level, competent monk, but she actually pauses for a moment, and she doesn't move, and now she is starting to go further and further down, and Penton's body is going further and further up on the scale. But she actually, I'm going to say, just this once, is going to lose her turn because of your very high roll. And that will bring it to Merezi.
She looks strong, right? Like, I don't have to hold back strong?
Oh, no, you do not want to hold back.
Alright, I'm gonna come at her. I'm gonna come at her with my halberd
Okay.
for my first attack.
Tip, if you encounter a monk, don't hold back at all, no matter what their level.
I do also need you to make a simple athletics roll. If you do not have athletics, then you can use your dexterity modifier. Because every time you move in this, you are going to have to leap on or off one of these scales.
So jump would probably be the right option.
Yes.
Okay, my jump roll is 15. No,
That's
16.
more than enough. That's more than enough. You easily
And
leap on.
what was my, let's see, what was my attack? My attack was 23 for my first attack.
That will actually hit.
Yay! Let's see, where's damage? 12 points of damage.
Very nice.
And for my second attack, 10.
10 for your to hit.
Yes.
Okay, that will not do it at all. So I'm assuming you're attacking with your halberd.
Halberd, yes.
Yes. So you are on a standing still platform, and you boom, leap up as just really impressive. I mean, it's cool looking as you leap over onto the scale, and your halberd slashes down and cuts her on the arm. As you try to come back, she actually parries your halberd, like moving under and moving the wood up with just her hands, which is incredibly cool watching. But you still manage to hit her and get a good hit, and she kind of nods to you, even in the middle of combat. When you damage her, you all see this. There is like a and energy actually flows off of Penton and travels through the scales almost like lightning being grounded. And that will bring it to Tix.
Okay, so Tix is going to jump on the scale. What did I need to roll for that?
An athletics, or just with your dex modifier.
I don't have a dex modifier. Thank you very much. That is a 13.
That will still be fine.
Okay. And
I've now got an image of Yoda fighting from the prequels.
he is going to do a feint attack and then just try and grab hold of her foot and cast blindness.
Interesting. Okay. So you are able to attack. What is your roll?
That is a 7.
A 17. Unfortunately, that does not hit. No, wait, I apologize. I take that back. Even though she has incredible modifiers, she does have a lower touch attack that is not some of her other bonuses. So that does hit, just barely. So
she gets fortitude save.
Okay. Unfortunately, she rolls a 17. And as you can imagine, a fairly high-level monk has a high fortitude save.
Yes.
So you see her eyes cloud over with cataracts for a moment, and then vroom, and she actually takes a moment to wave her long green finger at you. And that will bring it back to Osokai.
Right.
Oh, by the way, Tix and Morezi, excuse me a second. Tix and Morezi jump onto the scale with her. Penton's scale now, bang, hits at the top. And his body starts to kind of slide towards the edge as it is rocking back and forth.
Don't like that none.
So we should probably be... We're going to need to be... I'm going to draw everyone's attention to this. Mm-hmm. That we probably need to... She said something about everything must be in balance. This is balance. Sorry, I just had an epiphany. We need to do this carefully. We can't all go in at the same time. That's going to be bad for all of us. So, yeah, I'll shout that out. And I'm not going... Well, I'm going to jump to the scale next to her and attack.
Okay. So are you going to... you're not going to jump on Penton's scale then? Or, are you going to jump on Penton's scale? Because it's higher up, and you certainly can. But also his body is starting to slide off because he's gone all the way to the top, and it's rocking back and forth slightly.
I feel like my weight is going to be a detriment to that.
Possibly. Though, of course, both her, Tix, and Morezi are on the other scale.
Yeah, but I'm still 300 pounds. Okay, no, let's go for Penton's. I'm going to try and jump to his scale, just enough to stop it from rocking and preventing him from falling.
Okay.
With the intent to drop off immediately afterwards, because my weight will have him hitting the floor, most likely.
Okay. And I want you to make a athletics check
Alright.
for that movement.
Jump is my best skill, so that's a 24.
Okay. So not only do you jump to this higher platform, but you were actually able to land on it, kind of a 3-point hero land, and actually balance it and keep him from sliding off to his death. And the scale begins to lower back down somewhat with your combined weight of you and Penton. It's not equal, of course, because the odds of that would be very small, but it does start to lower back down to reach a sort of equilibrium. Did you want to do any kind of attack? That was your movement.
Yeah. How far away is she from me right now?
She's probably about 20 feet away.
Yeah.
But remember, you have already moved.
Yeah, and I can't jump towards her again. I'm gonna try another intimidate roll again. This isn't to. It's not to intimidate her. It's more a distraction.
Okay. So you're trying to distract her from attacking them?
I'm trying to, I guess, distract her from. The attempt is that she kind of breaks for like half a second, allowing for an attack of opportunity from somebody nearby. That's the hope.
Okay. I will allow that, because if you're going to try to make her lose her turn, that would be at a disadvantage. Because that you can only intimidate someone so many times before they kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
But I will allow you to try to cause her to stumble in a way that would create an attack of opportunity.
Yeah. We'll go for that then.
Okay.
That's a 21.
Okay. So with that 21, tell me, what would you do to try and distract her enough to create an attack of opportunity?
It would be another. It'd be a different roar. It'd be a roar that's designed to grab attention. Sort of, almost like a pre-attack kind of roar. But obviously, I'm not attacking, so it's designed that something's coming from above, and hopefully will just give her enough flicker to, someone else can get a quick cheap shot in.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is, when her turn is next, she is going to attack, and then normally she was actually going to disengage. So she would be able to withdraw from both of you in a extremely cool backflip. However, she has gotten slightly off because of the scream, so both Merezi and Tix are going to get an attack of opportunity. However, she is now going to attack. Oh. So, Merezi, she did roll a 5 and an 11, and neither of those is going to hit, but she did also roll a natural 20.
Oog.
Yes. And that is somewhat fortunate to you that she didn't roll as well as she could have. So that is actually going to be 13 points of damage, Merezi, as she does a series of 3 blows. Whop, 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 and one of them just catches you right in the kidney, and it is extremely painful.
My kidneys! Oh, my kidneys!
And then as soon as she finishes that last one, she actually pushes off of you and does a backflip, but she is just a little off from what she normally would have done in her combination. So both you and Tix can now roll for a single attack of opportunity.
Oh, rad.
So just so you guys know what we're dealing with, as players, not characters, she's at least 15. if not higher.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
17.
That is an 18.
18. I'm actually going to say both of those hit.
Yeah.
And so go ahead and roll for damage, both of you.
Okay.
10.
10 points of damage. That's 22. Now, you're not quite sure how this is possible as you hit her and she flips backwards. Remember those little pouches? She actually flings her hands outwards. And little, shall we say, shuriken come flying out at both of you. And I would both like you to both make a reflex saving throw.
No! That's not fair.
Your favorite.
Oh, I rolled a natural 1. I die.
Shuriken aren't that bad, but oh yeah.
I got a 2.
Well, you are both very fortunate because Morezi, you actually took 4 points of damage, so that takes you to 17. Tix, you actually only took 1 point of damage, so that was pretty fortunate for you both. And she lands on another set of scales slightly higher up, and it slowly starts to descend. By the way, when you both got hits on her, you both saw the energy crackle and ground itself out of Penton a little bit more. And that will actually bring it to Morezi. She is now on a different scale.
Could I jump to the scale opposite her and attack her with my big long halberd?
You could. It would be really tough to... it would only be possible with your halberd. But you will have... I will say... I'll actually go easy on you and say a -2.
How about I attack her and then jump away? Can I do that with my turn?
If you jump away from her, you will provoke an attack of opportunity from her. But you can do that.
I'll just jump to her because Morezi is like that and attack her from the normal scale.
That is very Morezi.
That is a non-natural 20.
That will hit.
10 points of owie damage.
10? Very good. So that's 44 points of damage, and you, I believe, have a second attack.
Oh, I do! Gee willikers! And it fell off the table onto the floor. Come here, dicey. That is a 6.
A 6? Okay. That is not going to hit.
Surprising.
Yes. Again, she takes that first hit, but that she's actually able to knock away the blow with her hands. And she's beginning to swirl her hands in sort of a strange counterattack. Anyway, that will bring it to Tix. By the way, Morezi, as you land on there, the scale that you were both on whams down as hard as it can because you're both on the same scale. And I need you to make a reflex saving throw.
Me also?
Yes.
Tix also?
No, not you, Tix. Now that you... I'll get to you in a second.
Okay.
9?
9. So you stumble backwards, and you do not fall off. However, your next attack is going to have a minus to it because you're stumbling about. And when she leaps off, Tix, it's now just you on that side, and the other side is Osokai and Penton. And so when she leaped off that one, you now rocket upwards, and you go bam, and you actually leave the scale for a moment. And I would like you to do your favorite thing, a reflex saving throw.
You are evil.
Only on Tuesdays.
And alternating Fridays. And today it is a 4. So I failed that magnificently.
Now 4, okay. And you, instead of falling off, I'm actually going to go a little easy on you. You are going to take 2 points of damage, and you have been knocked prone. So you will simply be able to pick yourself up on your next turn, but you will
Not be able
lose
to
your
cast.
movement. Yeah. And so it is actually your turn. What would you like to do?
I will stand up and cast Divine Favor on.
Okay. And you feel the blessing of your god come through you. And I assume you pick yourself up as well. Okay. And the
That's +2 to attack, +2 to damage for the duration.
she is now actually out of jumping range for you, Tix, because they are. No, I'm sorry, they're not, because they both went all the way down. So yes, and you went all the way up. So just so you know, you could jump. Just so you know, would be a little.
Yeah, that requires dexterity, and so
Yeah.
no.
It is an 80-foot fall, by the way, if y'all do fall off here.
Yay!
FYI, you've been through that before. And that will bring it back to Osokai.
Joy! This is my time to jump.
Okay?
I'm going to come down on her from above.
Okay.
Shifted. But still using my Morning Star.
All right. So that Morning Star comes out.
Do I get any advantages from gravity?
Yes. You actually... Well, you don't actually get a plus to hit, but you will get a bonus to damage if you do successfully hit.
So here's my first hit. Is a 19.
19 will hit.
I'll roll my second hit just to make sure. Is also a 19.
Wow. Really nice. So roll for damage for both of those. You get a +2 damage. I'm actually going to just say for the first one.
Okay.
Because and then you're following up with the second.
That's 12 damage on the first strike, +2, so 14.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 damage on the second.
6. So y'all have already done 62 points of damage to her. Y'all are just slamming into her, and the mace just crack. You actually catch her once across the jaw. You hear something crack in her jaw, and her eyes whip back to you.
I'm
so sorry!
I'd like to roll. I'd like to hit the ground and roll to a different scale if I can. That's up to you, though.
You really can't do that because you've already moved.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And
if someone would like to push me off this scale onto a different one, that would be helpful. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Well, it is her turn now, and she faces off with you and does 3 attacks. The first one is a very special attack. That is
He's going to try and stunning fist me.
Where is that strike bonus?
Or a key strike. Oh, God, why?
That is a 24. No, sorry, 23. So she actually, you think something's coming, like a stunning strike or something, but what actually she does is she strikes the inside of your wrist, and your Morning Star falls harmlessly to the ground.
She gave you tendinitis.
And tell me, highs or low?
Low.
You win. It clatters to the bottom of the scale, but it does not fall off the side, so it is still there. But that was the first strike. Fortunately, it didn't do any damage to you, so there's that. And her third strike does not hit. Her second strike is a natural 20.
Yay!
Okay.
Yeah. So you actually got off pretty good with that. That is 17 points of damage. So a single blow from her would literally take the head off a normal human, as she just her palm just wham right into your chest, and you feel it go right through your armor, and it does
fair.
not feel good. And that will bring it to Marezi. You are on the same scale as them. Your scale has whammed down to the bottom.
I'm gonna Guess I'm just gonna attack her.
Okay.
Can't think of anything smarter to do. First attack is a 13, probably doesn't hit. Second attack is a 19.
19 will hit.
10 points of owie damage, which appears to be my key damage today.
That is 72 points of damage that you are striking against her. And again, you see that coming off of Pinton. And there's sort of like a crackling of energy now, sort of spreading kind of like almost like Tesla coil like through the different scales. And now it would be Tix's turn. Now Tix that they have left, you don't weigh as much as Pinton, but you actually don't weigh that much less. So the two scales are kind of slowly bobbing back and forth where you are. If you jump off of this scale, Pinton would shoot up to the top, down, and possibly fall off.
Okay. I am actually... how far away is the monk?
About 20 feet.
Okay. So I am going to cast Command on him. I'm going to use the word freeze. So let's see what we can roll. And that is a natural 20.
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to say, since you rolled a natural 20, that it automatically succeeds.
Okay.
And she freezes in the middle of a stance. She does not fall, but she freezes for a moment. And that will bring it to Osokai.
Hit for the bleachers, big boy.
Picking up my weapon is going to be a standard action. So.
It would be a standard. I would allow you to do that as a move if you do not move any further. And with her frozen, you would actually not provoke an attack of opportunity like you normally would, stooping down to pick up your weapon.
I should still get an attack, though, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You would still be able to attack.
Yeah. Well, I'll do that then. I'll pick it up, and I guess I'm gonna swing for the knees.
Okay. This is she is flat-footed.
Oh. And since it's a monk, that's her dex is. Oh, okay. Alright. Roll to hit. That's a nat 20.
Woo!
Wow.
Second attack. Second attack is a nat 1.
Go ahead and give me that 100-sided die roll. Let me know what you get.
Alright. So, that's the second attack.
Mm-hmm.
Is a 98.
98. Wow.
Yep. Alright, so first attack does double damage.
Yes.
So that's... let me just get the damage in first before the catastrophic event hit me. Yes! Okay, so that's 24.
24. Okay. So here's what happens is you swing for the fences and just crack her. Did you say in the knees?
In the knee, yes.
Okay, and the knee, and she, even though she's been frozen, she goes down, as you would expect from hitting someone in the knee with a mace. She goes down, but what happens is the entire thing tilts forward, and you and her and Merezi begin to slide forward off the scale. You have not fallen off the scale, but you are all starting to overbalance and go off the scale right now. And that will actually bring it to her. She is going to attempt to fight against the command. What is the saving throw?
The saving throw is a will saving throw.
Interesting. She has a really high will, but she rolled very poorly, so she actually is still frozen. And Merezi. So you all three are starting to tilt off this scale. What would you like to do?
I suppose I could make a... Can I make a reflex save to right myself?
You can right yourself.
Not sorry, right, like right,
what
but
I'm-
like
But what I'm saying is, if you are trying to, you can actually right the scale if you can get to the other side in time.
Oh yeah, I guess since she's frozen, I'll just make a jump check to jump to their scale.
Well, you're on. Your scale has plowed down to the bottom of where it can go, but it's now it's tilting to one side. So it's connected by a chain in the middle. And so you are all now overbalanced on one side of the scale, and you're all in danger of sliding off. So you would need to jump to the other side of the scale you're on.
Okay, I'll
to keep everyone from sliding off.
Just reflex save to move myself to a different part of this scale so that it is not too heavy on one side.
Okay, well that is it's actually not a save as much as it is it's something you're doing, so it is a skill. So you can use athletics or jump or another skill that would be appropriate for that.
Yeah, I'll use jump.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, that's
Jump to the scale.
Natural one.
Natural one.
Marezi dies.
Go ahead and roll for me. The 100-sided die. No, that's only for attacks. I take that back. That is only for attacks. So you try to jump, but you're simply underbalanced, and so you are all continuing to slide now. And that will actually bring it to Tix, and you are watching your friends slowly slide off the scale to their death.
I think it's a little far away for Tix to make a jump.
It would be extremely difficult for you. Not impossible. You could, though. You absolutely could.
And so, my only option is to... where is Penton in relation to me right now?
He is on the other scale that's connected to yours.
Right.
And he is slightly lower down than you because he's slightly heavier than you, but he's not that much heavier than you.
Okay.
Just jump up and down.
So, I will get...
well, I will say, now that I say that, since you are higher up and they have all bottomed out down, you could just jump down to the other side of it.
Yeah, but we're trying to keep balance, and then Penton would roll off. So
yes, unfortunately.
I am going to use my crossbow to take a pot shot at the motionless monk.
Okay.
Motionless Monk is my new band name. # do not steal.
Don't at me.
Motionless in white belt.
That is a measly 13.
That will actually hit. Flat-footed, her AC is 12.
Oh.
Yeah. She's, as a monk, her dexterity is going to be off the wall, so if she's flat-footed, she hasn't got that anymore.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's still... That is 4 points of damage.
Okay. Yes, with that 4 points of damage, it just thumps into her side, and you see her... And the scales are now tipping very badly. Osakai, it is your turn. You need to do something immediately to keep all of you from sliding off the scale and dying.
So we had to defeat her, right?
Yes.
Not kill her.
That is correct. I mean, she didn't really specify, and now there is crackling energy everywhere, all throughout these scales.
So her falling off this would be a defeat.
True.
As long as we stay on, it should be fine. So, I'm going to give her a push.
Okay, the only problem is that you and Marezi are also sliding off this right now.
It's going to be easier for us to recover if it's just the two of us instead of the three.
Okay.
That's my reasoning. And Osagai is just at this point where he just wants this over with. And, you know, if she hits the floor before we do, and before...
the 80 feet down floor.
Well, she's a monk, so she's probably got slow fall. This is where she lives. She probably knows how to deal with this. That's my reasoning. As long as she hits the ground or concedes before Penton does, we've won. So what's the point?
Okay.
What's the problem? I don't see a problem.
Roll to push off.
All right.
That's a touch attack.
Yep. And that's a flat 19 on the die.
Okay. So just describe to me what it's like when you push her off.
It's part panic, but Osaka is gonna just use his foot and just give her the mighty boot, boof, off the edge of the scale.
Gotcha. And you just see her boing, off the scale and begin to plummet 80 feet below. And Marezi, it is your turn. You are sliding off this scale.
Okay, another jump check to try and not die off this thing.
Okay, and no pressure, but you did already fail once. If you fail again, it's not going to be great.
10.
10 will do it. You jump to the other side of the scale, and it wobbles. And I would like both you and Osokai to make a reflex saving throw.
Oh boy, my favorite.
Yes, this has never gone bad for you at all.
Shut up.
Picky.
I have a reflex of plus 10. I can't fail.
11.
11 will work.
Especially when I get a 19, so it's 29.
29 will work as well. So y'all, even though you're not the same weight, Marezi is still very heavy. So you manage to roughly balance. You're still wobbling, but you're not like falling. And she whoop, goes off, and as she does, you just see this crack, 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 and this just incredible explosion and release of energy. And above you, you actually see the energy outline of a dragon for a moment, and it just dissipates into the air. And a moment later, several seconds later, you actually see the form of Raja come just inhumanly, just scaling up the side of one of these giant poles that the scales are attached to. She just and then just effortlessly lands on one of the scales that you are not on. Even though there's no one on the other side of the scale, she doesn't seem to register any weight on it.
Thank God.
And so she just stands there effortlessly. She casually reaches into her side and pulls out the arrow, crossbow bolt that you had put in her ticks. And she makes a series of motions with her hands and then freezes for a moment, and you literally see like a sort of soft suffuse of radiant energy come off of her, and you actually hear as her jaw resets itself as she heals herself using monk-like powers. It is possible that she maybe was holding back a little bit.
Just a little.
A little. However, y'all still did really good. I don't want to take that from you. You still did really, really well. And she leaps again and lands on Penton's side. And despite, again, you being on the other side, Tix, you only feel a slight wobble. And she lays her hand on Penton's head, and she says, "He will live." Welcome.
Does he still have the tail?
He still does. Yeah, he still absolutely looks horrible. His body is malformed at the moment. And she says, there is more that he will need to do, and that is between he and I. But I welcome you. I welcome you all to the Temple of Animus. And that's where we'll end Chafing Armor 76. Great job, everybody.
Thank you. I'm
was,
going to live here now and raise my one quarter orc, 1/4 human, half lizard person babies here.
Yes, they will be very, very happy together, I'm sure.
I don't like fighting monks. Monks are OP.
Yes, they are very OP, and she was absolutely holding back many of her special attacks. However, I don't want to take that from you. She was effectively fighting at a lower level. You still defeated a very powerful monk when she
At least
easily could have
15 with 3 strikes.
But she was fighting you at a what I'm showing from 3.5 is she was fighting you at a level 11.
Oh,
11?
Yeah, because 11 has 3 attacks.
Okay.
2 that I'm seeing.
Oh, well, maybe the scale I'm looking at is wrong. So
Base attack. Base attack bonus. It's 2 of them.
but anyway, she was holding back a great deal, but you still
Oh,
defeated
flurry of blows. My bad.
she was still holding back, but you still defeated a very powerful monk, and I that could have gone very differently.
She was still way out of our range.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh god.
So excellent work, everyone. I definitely wanted to end it here so that we could bring Penton back in for the next one because he really needs to be there for the next one.
Yeah.
Congrats, everybody. That was amazing. I actually saw that in my head. It's a Chow Yun Fat Jet Li kind of combat going on in my brain. A Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Exactly. I wanted y'all to have something that was more fun than just a punch 'em up.
That was really cool. I enjoyed that.
I'm glad.
Tix got to use one of his non-regular spells that he hasn't had a chance to use before, so that was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Tick's got to use his reflexes.
Shut up.
Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Dungeon Master.
Thank you. And we will roll with you soon.